Yesterday, I found an article about America's 10 most dangerous cities of 2015. So I'm going to give my thoughts on some of this. It might turn into a little bit of a roast, but we'll just see how that goes. Number one should come as no surprise to anybody. For like the third or fourth year in a row, number one, Detroit. If anybody from Detroit is watching this video, could you please explain how the mighty fell? Detroit just, I don't know what to say about it. It used to be a culturally big city, um, industry and music wise, and then in the late 60s, you just fell apart and it got worse and worse and worse from there. What happened? People of Detroit, leave your opinions on here if you're watching this, if you like. Number two is actually no surprise to me, Memphis, Tennessee. I consider Memphis is obviously in less of a shithole than Detroit, but having visited Memphis before, I can say this. Uh, it's basically got six things keeping it from completely collapsing economically. From based on what I saw, uh, there's still Elvis tourism. Elvis is still really big there. They got St. Jude's, they got the airport, they got FedEx, they have the university, and they have the Mississippi River, which of course is going to bring trade and is going to be a trade center. But I'm really surprised at Memphis. It has such a strategic location, and yet I'm hoping it will rise again one day. I'm really hoping so. Number three, Oakland. Got nothing to say about that. That was kind of obvious. Number four, if you've been watching the news for the past couple years, this should come as no surprise. St. Louis. And even before this whole Mike Brown situation went down, uh, I read some stuff about St. Louis that there were some areas that were pretty sketchy. Number five was a little bit of a surprise to me. Birmingham, Alabama. I know that Birmingham has had a history of violence before, but I thought it sort of calmed down in this modern time, but I guess not. As somebody who's been to Birmingham, this is how I can describe it. I've been to Birmingham a lot, but since it's not that far, but here's how I describe Birmingham. In Alabama, Birmingham is the city. It is, if you want to stay in Alabama and really make it big in a big city, Birmingham is supposed to be the place to go, especially if you're in the medical industry. They got a booming medical industry. But it seems like Birmingham is a poor man's Atlanta in the sense that it appears they tried to copy whatever Atlanta does, which is why I think Birmingham is starting to plant the seeds of completely eradicating its southern roots when they announced that they would host the 2021 World Games. Number six was the biggest surprise, Milwaukee. I never expected Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or anything in Wisconsin to be considered on that level. Number seven was Baltimore, if you've seen The Wire. Number eight, Cleveland, Ohio. Besides, this is no offense to Cleveland, but what else is there to do in Cleveland besides the Cavaliers and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Because the Browns aren't exactly attractive to outsiders. And I can't be completely surprised at Cleveland when your city's river has been set on fire before. That should be some sort of clue. Number nine is Stockton, California. I don't really know anything about Stockton, so I can't comment on that. Number 10 was almost as big a surprise as Milwaukee, Indianapolis, Indiana. Like, really? From all the stories I heard, you would have thought Gary, Indiana would have been at that point. Unless, is Gary's population over 200,000? Because they were doing its ranking on cities that were uh, over 200,000, or at least had that population. That was my opinion on the list and those cities. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments, comment below. Feel free to do so. And I will see you next time, whenever that is.